Jesse, this is so exciting because you know why? They've never met. Donald and Kamala have never met. But the interesting thing is America has met Trump. They haven't met Kamala. So this is more about her. Like, America needs to hear from her.
The pressure's on her. This is the first impression. And every time people do get a look at her, they don't like her. When they saw her in 2019, they didn't like her. Whenever they saw her as VP, they didn't like her. Her numbers nosedived after they saw her at the convention. So 90 minutes of Kamala is not good for Kamala. And Trump just has to keep her on the defensive and explain why she believes these radical, dangerous things. Now, if she just pivots and says it's about values and then attacks him, that's what she wants to do. She wants to be attack, attack, attack the whole time. Because what does she have to lose? Remember, they didn't like what Biden did last time, not just because he fell apart, because he didn't land any great shots at Donald Trump. If she comes out and just goes crazy and just starts going rapist, Jan 6, this and that, and Trump gets flustered or Trump is then on the defensive, then she wins. So this is huge for her because this is the only debate. There will be no other debate besides this. If she wins, she coasts. If she loses, maybe she begs for another one and Trump says, fine, we'll do it on Fox, and puts the pressure on her. I expect her to do one thing, and she should say this if I were advising her. Once Trump just says, you did this, you did that, why should we trust you to do anything you're promising? She should just look at him and say, I'm not Joe Biden. I'm not Joe Biden. You know how he does a little thing, a little swagger? I'm not Joe Biden. And if she does that, that could just really make one of those moments. Yeah, you don't look like Joe Biden. You were only his VP. And that might give her a little distance because what she wants is distance. Trump is going to make her look like Joe Biden in a pantsuit. And if you could say, I'm not Joe Biden in a cool, fun way, that might help her out. Other than that, she's got a lot of work to do because we've never seen her take a punch except once. And she had a glass jaw.
By the way, that is an analogy for people at home. He's not talking literally a punch or literally a jaw made of glass, just for those bloggers out there.
Thank you.
Judge, we had this montage of disturbed talking heads. Are they sincerely worried, or are they just trying to build low expectations so that by showing up, she wins?
Yeah, it's setting low expectations so when she goes out there and she doesn't get involved in any kind of a stumble or any kind of a word salad, they say, gee, she really is good. She looks good. She smiles. Look, this is all about Kamala Harris tonight. It's not about Donald Trump. People know who Donald Trump is. And, Jesse, you're right. This is the most important thing that is happening so far in this debate. Normally, people don't decide who they're going to vote on based upon the debate. But as the press has made it so easy, I think the Wall Street Journal said it, the press has made it so easy on Kamala that this debate is now like the single most important thing that will turn people's minds one way or the other. Look, she's had 7 weeks without using or taking advantage of the fact that she could speak to the American people. And she only has herself to blame for the fact that no one really knows who she is. Trump is going to come out. He's going to talk policy. She's going to come out and she's going to talk. She's been focused on Donald Trump for 7 weeks. She's been on lockdown for 7 weeks, waiting for that one moment when she can say that one line that's presidential. But here's the bottom line. If you're not authentic, it doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to believe in you. That is the most important thing anyone running for office. I don't care what you say. If you believe it, you can get away with it. And finally, she is behind what I think it is now Latinos and independent voters. She was ahead 2 weeks ago. The longer she goes, the worse it is for her. So in the end, she has a lot of work to do. 28% don't know her policies. She's got to separate herself from Joe Biden. But all of her experience comes from being the vice president with Joe Biden. So she'll attack Trump, but she's got to recognize that she has to establish herself affirmatively.
All right. So, Jessica, I have a thoughtful question for you.
I dare you.
Oh, God. Dare accepted. Okay, I'm watching, the media. I watched CNN come out with this fairly devastating thing yesterday about her radical ACLU questionnaire. And you see the New Republic coming out with stuff about this plagiarism. If this debate is bad for Harris, will they switch her out? I mean, they let Biden pick his successor before. They didn't have a primary. I mean, what's to say they don't do it again? I got this sense that maybe they're getting cold feet. Am I wrong?
Truly. Actually, astronomically wrong about this.
Really?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yes.
You're
And
supposed
also,
to
how
say
would
that,
happen?
Jessica.
No, no one told me I had to say that. I genuinely thought about it, and then I said astronomically wrong. No, Kamala Harris is 100% the candidate now.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Well, no, that's not it. Jesse said that the more the American people see Kamala Harris, the more they dislike her. And that's just not true. So her favorability has gone up. Donald Trump's remains in the toilet, and J.D. Vance's has already been flushed.
46%.
No. Have you looked
According
at
to the New York Times poll, it's at 46%.
No. Have you looked at it compared to Kamala with undecided voters?
Let's
Let's not. Okay. Well, I totally agree with the fact that this is a huge night for her. So it's big risk, but also big reward if it works out. And in the CNN poll, 48% of undecided voters said that they wanted to know more about her. It was only 18% of people who wanted to know that about Donald Trump. And I would rather be the person that has a ceiling that I can keep going up towards that ceiling. Donald Trump is most likely maxed out. And this is the way that it's always been. He hits a ceiling. Joe Biden got ahead of him. Hopefully Kamala Harris will get ahead of him and win the presidency in 2024. So she does have this room to make a good impression on people. I believe that she will. I think preparing for things is a good thing. I just hope she is not over-prepared, because that can catch you if you just want to get too much into a response.
I don't think that's a problem with Kamala, being over-prepared. I think we're pretty confident that's not happening. So, Dana, I'm sorry I can't come to your place tonight to watch, but save me some of your queso, okay? I think everybody is basically saying the same thing. Yep. I mean, and Jessica, rarely, she's right, is that there is like only Kamala can do better.
Right.
Because she's so low.
No.
Yes. Trump doesn't need to convert the converted. Should he adjust his rough edges, or should he just do what he always
I don't
does?
know. I think that, like, honestly, I'm like running out of airspeed and altitude when it comes to talking about what they should do, because at this point, I'm like, I think we have beaten this horse to
what should you do?
What I should do is make some queso. I think there are very few undecided voters right now. I think there are people who are deciding whether to vote, not who to vote for. So both of them have an opportunity tonight to say, this is why you should vote for me. And yes, I think Kamala has the most room to grow in terms of people who say they don't know her, right? A lot of the independents, Latinos, blacks all said in that New York Times poll, we would like to know more about her. So she has, the stakes are higher for her tonight than they are for President Trump. In the New York Times poll, 88% of people said they knew enough about him.
Yeah.
Okay, now some people love him, some people do not. So what does he need to do? I think to show to the American people he wants to be commander-in-chief because he wants to be the leader of the free world, and he understands the gravity of the situation. I think that her flip-flops are something to be talked about. Her campaign runs, they just go in circles. The best thing that will ever happen to the people who work for her campaign is for this debate to happen so that they have something to say, so that they can say, she answered that, she said this, she said that. Because for the last 3 weeks, all they could say is that, well, you know, she did 90 interviews as vice president, but nobody paid attention to those because they weren't, she wasn't the candidate. I think talking about her records and plans is more important than talking about her flip-flops, because her record and her plans became Biden policy. And that's what's led people to feel like they don't like what's happening. But the thing that she does have, regardless of how it goes tonight, even if she totally bombs, the Democrats, and with Kamala Harris, they have a cash advantage that they are going to press. And so it's not that there isn't a plenty of money in politics. I'm not saying there isn't enthusiasm on the Republican side, but they have a system to get Democrats to continue, like, throw them $20, and that cash advantage can make a difference in getting out a vote of undecideds who are going to decide this elections, like in 7 states, tens of thousands of people. That's it.
All right. Well, for somebody who didn't have much to say,
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm kidding. Am I? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not kidding. No.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.